Hello and welcome to another STEM in the Box instructional video. Today we will be having a look at how to determine the COM port number of the USB device that you plug into your computer, and secondly what to do if it doesn't have the driver and how to know that if that's the case. Great, so you need to plug in the USB device, which I've just plugged in a ScratchLink, and then you need to navigate to Device Manager through my computer. Many ways to get there. And COM ports, and you will see that I can see that there's a smoothie board there, but the serial ScratchLink's not there, so I'm just going to plug it back in again and plug it back. And then you see that I just plugged in this ScratchLink and it comes up with USB 2 serial. Now that means it knows that it's a serial device but doesn't know what it is. So I'm going to give it the driver, so go right click, update driver, and browse to my computer, and then you need to browse to the folder where you have downloaded the drivers of the STEM Academy website. So I've got those folders in there. We're just going to start with the CH340 driver, okay? So you just tell it the folder and then go next. And yes, so it now can see that it's CH340. It will install the drivers for you, okay? And then now once you've installed the drivers there, you can see that instead of being USB serial 2, which means a USB type 2 serial, it doesn't know what it is, but now it knows that it's what the chip is. It's a CH340 chip, and you can identify the COM port there. Okay, great. Now, if that doesn't work, then it's possible that you have the Silicon Labs chip, in which case you just need to run the Silicon Labs executable file in the USB drivers that you downloaded, please. So that's the other method to install the USB driver, is to either install it here or through my computer in Device Manager, or to run the executable, which you'll need to do if this doesn't give the ScratchLink the USB driver. Okay, so that would be the Silicon Labs driver installation. Okay, now how would I know if you've got a whole bunch of USB devices there, like sometimes you can have 5 and 6, and how do you know which one's the ScratchLink or which one's not the ScratchLink? So this often happens in the classroom. So what you do is you pull out, so I'm going to pull out the ScratchLink, and it's obviously the one that disappears. So the smoothie board, or there might be a list of 5 or 6 there, so it's the one that disappears. See, so I plug it back in, and now the one that reappears is obviously the ScratchLink, and it's on COM12. Now you need to know that because you need to set the COM port in the helper app. Okay, great. So if it's still showing a USB serial (2), then it's quite possible that you have a Silicon Labs driver chip on your ScratchLink, in which case you download the Silicon Labs USB driver from the STEM Academy, put it in the folder. I'll make sure you unzip it, of course, and then that runs as a self-installer. And what these numbers mean is that this here is the .exe, so that's the driver self-installer for a 64-bit machine, and the other one here, the x86, is your 32-bit machine. So you just run whichever self-installer, and I know I've got a 64-bit, and it's just a self-install from the makers of that USB chip, and it's all done and it's ready to go. And that now means if you had another, because the ScratchLinks can have either USB chip, I'm going to get a ScratchLink that's got the Silicon Labs USB chip on it, and I'm going to plug that in, and then I'm going to go to Control Panel and Device Manager and go to COM ports, and you can see that the drive, it's picked up. So the Silicon Labs CP2110 here in COM5 is the ScratchLink that's got the Silicon Labs USB driver on it. And it's quite possible that you can't use two ScratchLinks in the one computer at the same time, but I'm going to show you what happens if I pull out the smoothie board. I've only got two COM ports on this laptop, and if I put in another ScratchLink that's got the CH340 driver, and then you can see them both there. So you can identify which physical hardware, as I mentioned before, belongs to which COM port by pulling it out and see which one disappears. Okay. So the one I just pulled out there was the COM5. Okay. Great. So basically what we've explained there is how to identify your COM port by pulling the device in and out, and what to do if you don't have the driver. If you're using a smoothie board and it doesn't come up as, so when I plug this smoothie board in now, back in, let's see here, it'll show up. So there we go. So it shows up as a smoothie board USB serial. So if it doesn't identify as a smoothie board, if it just comes up as a serial when you plug in the smoothie board, then it doesn't have the proper Windows smoothie board USB driver, in which case you simply need to download the Windows smoothie board driver from STEM Academy, unzip it, and run that install file. So that's an install package, as is the Silicon Labs driver for the ScratchLink. That's an install package, but the other USB chip on the ScratchLink is the CH340, and that's just right-click like this, update driver. Okay, great. Thanks for watching.